Hi, I'm Rowan.
Hi, I'm Zach.
And you're watching episode 3.7 of In the Zone. Today we're going to be discussing the Twilight Zone episode, The Grave. We're going to be spoiling the entire episode, so if you don't want to spoil it for you, you should watch it and then come over and, see this. We are in the Old West. There's good music that we've heard in other episodes. Bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum.
So they start out with a lot of hidden gunmen, and they're going to ambush this guy, and it's just a bunch of shots of people hiding behind things.
So then this guy walks out of this place.
And he runs, and they're like, Pinto, put your hands up!
And then he grabs his gun, so then they shoot him
And then they're like, let's take him to the jail, and I felt insulted by the label, jail.
They have to let us know.
Yeah.
This guy is reflecting, Johnny Robb is reflecting, he's like, wow, I never thought they'd really get Pinto psyched after all. And this guy's like, that's the end of that!
So, already, the acting is so bad.
Rod Serling makes a cool entrance where he just sort of exits a building. He says Pinto Sykes is an outlaw and stuff. So then we fade to black. We come up, we're outside of a saloon, and this guy, Connie Miller, that's his name, shows up, and he talks to the weird old man from the beginning of the episode, who, this is his last appearance. His name's Jason. He's like,
why is Jason included?
Because, well, here's the thing.
What does he add to the plot?
His purpose? Okay, nothing. Well, okay, there are two things he does, and both of them are dumb. The first is to say, that's the end of that, which segues into Serling's thing where he says, normally he would be right, however, the story's just begun.
You don't need him to do that, though.
No, you don't. And then also, even less necessary is, he tells Connie in this scene that they killed Pinto, but he could have just been told that by any of the guys in the saloon.
Yeah, I feel in this episode, the dialogue says the same thing with a lot of frequency.
Yeah, I agree, and, and the thing is that the Twilight Zone, had so many budget problems. That was the main reason that it didn't last as long as it did, was because that didn't last longer than it did, was because they were always going over budget with reindeer and dinosaurs, but, you don't have to hire that guy. You really could just cut him out of the script. But maybe they just really needed some padding, so they needed another guy to explain his death. And so Connie goes in to talk with all the guys in the saloon, and most of the guys in the saloon are people who were there, who volunteered to shoot him. And so there's this guy, Johnny Robb, who was a guy who was can't believe they really got him. He has a guitar. Every time someone says something mysterious or dramatic, he goes, does a dramatic chord. It's what? It's like a parody of itself. It's so stupid. They don't know exactly who shot him, because he was only shot by one bullet, even though many people shot him. So they don't know who got him. Don't think too much about this. It's not relevant later. I think maybe they had a plot point that connected, that was a payoff from the setup later on, but then they cut it out, but then they kept in the setup. They never found out who did it. Johnny is maybe Pinto knows who shot him. We learned from expository dialogue that Connie was...
Bad expository dialogue.
So Pinto...
Yeah, I thought the dialogue in this scene was, sort of excruciating. It didn't flow, And it didn't move it forward. And it was just
It was
pushing against the table, but Rowan is blocking it.
Yes.
That's...
And finally, they pushed the table, but then they did it incorrectly. We learned from the expository dialogue that Pinto Sykes was, causing trouble, so they hired this guy, Connie, to track him down, but he wasn't doing well. He spent almost a year tracking him down, and so he was like, oh, I'm disappointed to find that he was actually here the whole time. And so he's disappointed that he wasn't able to kill him. He wasn't doing a good enough job, that they just got some volunteers from the town to just go and shoot him one day. So they tell him that Pinto said some stuff before his death, something about Connie. Pinto said on his deathbed that the slower he ran, the slower Connie chased. And that Connie, really almost intentionally didn't do a good job. What does this mean? Why didn't Connie do a good job?
What this means is this means that Connie has pride. And that Connie is, insulted and Connie needs to get back at him.
Because Connie says that this was a lie, so maybe this motivates his actions to sort of prove that maybe what the assumption was from, people like Johnny or the bartender from this information is that he was scared of Pinto. He didn't want to confront him. Something Pinto said was that if Connie went and visited his grave, then he'd reach up and grab him. So Connie was like, Pinto lied about me slowing down. I did all I could to find him. And then Ione shows up. She's Pinto's sister.
Not a good character. Then, like, whatever her name is, like, Ayon or like, Ayon, more like, I hate this episode. He comes in and he's like, it's gonna grow.
When she comes in the bar, it's pointless. All she says is stuff that has already been said. She's like, you don't need to chase him anymore, he's right here, so all you gotta do is walk up there. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, fade to black. She is stunningly bad at creepy laughter.
Is it too early to tear my notes in half?
No. No time has elapsed when we come back, and then Connie is like, well, I wasn't afraid of him when he was alive, so I'm definitely not afraid of him when he's dead. And then Johnny's like, I don't believe you. And then Connie freaks out and grabs him. And he's like, I was just kidding. What I was gonna say is I don't believe you're a coward.
That's like as cringeworthy a fake tension fight as the 1 and 2.
Yeah. Johnny's like, you know what? I bet you won't visit Pinto's grave. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. He goes from being super scared of, like, he knows that he will get mad if he calls him a coward, and then right away he bets hard
this
gold.
Is why, like,
that he won't.
Alright,
that's what you mean by the dialogue doesn't flow well. It doesn't make sense that he would go instantly from two opposite emotions of not wanting to make him angry by saying he's a coward and then saying he's a coward.
Salvage team Steinhardt puts up the first bet.
Smart.
Because he's like actually a better and not just a scared guy with comic relief and a guitar twang.
It's not comic relief. Well, he wasn't supposed to be comic relief.
Well, he was comic relief.
You bet he was. So he bets a $20 gold coin that took him 20 weeks to save up, so it must be a lot of money.
Is it too early to tear my notes into 4?
Nope. Go for it. So it's almost midnight, spooky as heck. So Connie has a gold coin too, so we accept the bet. And then the card guy, who's like a gambler, Steinhardt,
the card guy
puts down another 20.
Sort of like sits in the background, being just looking distractedly dumb for a long time.
And then, so Connie puts down another. And so the bartender doesn't have any money, but if he did, he'd bet against Connie, he says. Steinhardt is like, wait, I need some proof that you're actually going to go there, because otherwise you could just go there and just sit there, like, outside the graveyard for like 10 minutes and then come back. So he has an idea. And also, this episode is padded. It's so slow.
This is why I think they should have spent more time on character development.
Exactly.
Here's a question. What if the opening shootout was actually a scene that was led up to? And like
we have backstory of
we don't even need backstory.
No. Like the stuff about how he was looking for him for a year, that could happen earlier rather than him explaining what happened in the past, which isn't interesting because you know nothing's happening in the scene besides him describing stuff. Later, we could just have him actually doing it leading up to that.
Just given how ridiculously slow the pace of the episode is, like, what if just the opening shootout was longer than 30 seconds?
Yeah. Steinhardt, what he wants him to do is to stick a knife in the grave to prove that he was there. Okay, sure. So then Connie goes, and the cemetery is so non-spooky, it's weird. It's one of the most obvious sets we've ever seen at the Twilight Zone. It's so clearly like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, the
and
lighting,
the actors,
it was just so deeply not creepy.
And if the actors had done if Lee Marvin playing Connie had done a better job of being scared, then maybe it would have sort of like affected me in some way. But no, Ione is there visiting the grave, and so there's just completely pointless conversation, just patting. So then she leaves. And then she has the world's worst creepy laugh. And she says, he's waiting for you. And it's terrible day for night. Connie gets scared by a sound. And he spends like a minute like looking for it. Never finds it, just goes away. Okay, whatever, who cares. So then he leaves, goes up to the grave, puts the knife in, but then it doesn't, it gets out, so he needs more men. So he goes, and then he gets up, and then falls in a comical way.
Yeah.
Very undramatically. Even though it turns out to be an important plot point, it's presented very undramatically.
So,
It's just edited badly. That's a good place for a music stab. But no, nothing.
But what if, like, Connie stabs and then it goes up and then he goes back down? But also, why is Connie...
They just fade away too quickly.
Why is Connie
They can let it linger for a little bit.
Why is he so scared of the grave if he, like, isn't scared? Cause
maybe he's just lying about being... Maybe he secretly is scared because... I don't know. Maybe it is a thing that he always was scared of Pinto, and that's why I never caught up to him. and he's ashamed of that. And
So
he's
what if
ashamed that
what
they
if we
shot
talked
him,
what if we
and he
talked
acted
about that
scared.
instead of like having 6
I
minutes
know.
of panic?
I wish we had the subtext sort of like explained for us. Well, I mean
Salvage
that sounds bad,
game.
but it would be good to just have that sort of those deeper levels explored rather than like he is going to grab you. It's like the next morning they're like, he still hasn't gotten back yet. It doesn't make any sense that they suddenly realize he's not there, even though they've been literally at the saloon, I'm guessing up all night, like, waiting for him for 6 hours. They're like, still hasn't shown up. You'd think, like, around the 3-hour mark, they would definitely have gone up there by then, but...
Well, they're too spooked.
Yeah, but then in the morning they wouldn't have to reiterate, he is not here yet. But anyways, they go. And so, well, Ione shows up, of course, and she's like, wait, can you do the plate?
I have a plate. This is a plate that he ate out of when he was a boy. I'm going to put it on his grave.
Yes. That doesn't make any sense. Put a plate on a grave? Why don't you just put, like, all his clothes on a grave?
Yeah.
Where do you stop?
I mean, Iona's supposed to be weird, and she's written that way. But just Iona's weird and funny and not weird and spooky.
Yeah. She's, like, quirky, not, like, menacing. So,
Yeah.
they decide to go with her to visit the grave. And so, he is dead. And so, Steinhardt explains what happened. He says he knelt down, put the knife in, but he put it in his coattail because the wind was blowing it over the grave. And then he felt a tug when he was getting down, and it scared him so much that he had a heart attack and died.
A lot of times in a scary thing, like, the scared to death is just
Oh, I
such a-
hate that trope. That it's like, she died of a heart attack because she was scared. Can you imagine if that was actually a thing in real life? People get scared on movies, roller coasters. People would be dying left and right. People are always scared at
So,
stuff.
like, if they
Doesn't
were
mean they're
real scared.
dead. No.
With some regularity, there's a news article about someone with heart disease who dies on a roller coaster.
Okay. Well, that's more of a physical thing. It's not like
Yeah.
they were scared. Ione is like, where did the wind come from the south? He's like, same as today. No proof. And then she's like, well, look, my cloak is blowing the opposite direction, so it wouldn't actually have gone over the grave.
That's not what a spooky person says.
I know, she explains it.
Alright, do you have a rating?
They try to,
Yeah.
it's like this technical scientific thing about, well, the wind is going here, so it's like a detective. But she's trying to make it spooky, but it's impossible to make something that takes that long of a time to explain. I wish it was more concise, you know? Because then the spookiness is sort of dissipated. And then she laughs in a dumb way. That's the end of the episode.
I have a salvage team idea for how to rescue, like, something about this episode.
Oh, say it, we'll put it in later.
Alright, what if,
I love this salvage. This is one of our best recurring segments, is the salvage team.
Hashtag salvage team.
Yes.
Alright, so, what if Connie tracks down Sykes? Successfully finds Sykes, tracks him down, shoots Sykes.
That does make more sense, because then Pinto has a motive for being angry at him and getting back at him, literally backstabbing him, rather than just random. Because I guess he said he would get him. He said, on his deathbed, he said, I'm gonna get him, whatever. But why? He didn't do anything bad to you.
It was hard to be spooked because I was laughing out loud from stupidity.
It's very funny, and laughter makes you not scared, if you didn't know. The only thing good about it is that there are these interesting, like, subtextual psychological elements that are never explored that if we didn't have this skill, we never would have realized. I think the twist is a little interesting. I mean, it's executed very badly, but it's like, it's just an interesting reveal.
It's just so dumb. Like, it's so dumb that I don't care. All through a lot of these scenes, it's like some character goes in to tell us what we've already heard, and then another character tells us stuff we know.
It moves so slowly. Like, it must be, like, over a third of the way through the episode before he even takes out his $20 gold coin.
And then why does Johnny bet the gold coin? Johnny's just, like, so certain that Connie won't go to the grave.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Was there ever any doubt that Connie would take up the bet and
That's
go?
weird. That's weird, the idea that they all 4 people in that room, 3, think that he won't do it. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The knife is such a fake plot point.
No, I think it's sort of clever.
Slightly. but like
But it's like that's why would you think of a knife? You just put in like
a rock.
yeah.
I honestly think this is the worst episode I've seen yet.
We've given this episode of In the Zone more thought than they gave the episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yes. And we did not give this a lot of thought.
I mean, we thought about it.
Oh.
Just need to get my knee under Bill's. That was much scarier than the grave.
Honestly.
This is not gonna end well. You're gonna fly over. Do not make a snowstorm at the end. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. I was going to give it a 2.5, but then I remembered, bring, and I was like, it's a 2.
Okay.
All right,
It's bad.
It's very bad. Don't watch it. If you
We
watch
probably
it,
already did because we told you to.
yes. If you watch this, then it will be a grave mistake. So check us out next week.
Wait, quickly. Since I have the paper in my hand, this is scarier than the grave.
No!
Oh no. See you next week
I
on
just hurt my head.
a better episode, hopefully.
I hope that made me forget all about the grave. So
I dropped one.
next week we'll be
I dropped 2.
next week we'll be discussing It's a Good Life. So it's a good time on In the Zone. So check us out then.